An investigation is underway tonight after 6 grain cars derailed at the Howell yards on Evansville's west side.
CSX is now inspecting the tracks to try to figure out what happened. And with today's derailment comes concern from emergency management. TJ Parker live on the west side right now with his special report, Hazardous Express. TJ.
David and Jackie, we've been here for the past half hour, and it's quite the sight watching these guys clean up these tipped over rail cars. And even though today's derailed train was carrying something as harmless as corn, there could be an incident where a train derails carrying something more dangerous. A familiar howl rumbles down hundreds of miles of tracks each day, moving many things from point A to point B, some harmless like grain, but some hazardous like chlorine, sulfuric acid, or crude oil.
It scares us. I mean, knowing that we have young children that live right beside the train tracks.
Sandy Porter's family has been living on Evansville's west side for about a year. She says knowing trains are carrying hazardous materials feet away from her home and her kids is concerning.
What's going to happen with us if something like that happens? You know, if one of those trains wrecks, what's going to happen with us?
The problem that we have is that if there is a derailment or some kind of a compromise to the rail car, the gas is released and there are always sparks around during a derailment that can ignite that gas and cause an explosion.
Across the river in Henderson, EMA Director Larry Kerber says with a recent spike in oil production and fracking near the tri-state, they've been alerted to expect between 2 to 5 trains a week coming through hauling crude oil.
You talk to them, it probably will never happen. We have to protect our citizens and our city and our county, so we're saying there's a likelihood it could happen. If it does, you know, what can we expect?
The tracks in Henderson run right through downtown. Kerber says they're holding the train company accountable, making sure they maintain the tracks and that trains are going the speed limit. Kerber says there have been train derailments here in the past, so there's a possibility of it happening again.
Hopefully we won't realize those, but you know, the potential is certainly there.
In North America, there have been several major disasters, including one last year where a train carrying oil crashed in Lac Mégantic, Quebec, killing 47 people. The U.S. Department of Transportation now requires railroad companies carrying over 1 million gallons of crude oil to notify the counties they travel through. Kerber and Henderson County first responders will meet with CSX officials in the coming weeks to talk about safety and preparedness.
So they're as interested as we are of getting this taken care of and keeping it from happening in the first place.
Evansville Vanderburgh County EMA Deputy Director Chad Woodburn says he knows their side of the river is also vulnerable.
Accidents are going to happen. We are here to respond if an accident does happen, and we are prepared for it. And as emergency responders, we know that if this particular material is coming through, then we have to come up with something that says how are we going to control and contain it if it unfortunately should rupture.
As for Sandy Porter and her young kids, she says they plan to move soon. The CSX officials sent us an email in part saying CSX is consistently a safety leader in one of the nation's safest industries. We strive toward the goal of 0 accidents and injuries and aim to move every car to its destination safely. And if you're interested in reading that full email that we got, you can go to our website, 14news.com. And as for these guys out here, well, it looks like they have a long night ahead of them. We're live tonight on Evansville's west side. I'm TJ Parker, 14 News.